It's a sobering thought, isn't it? Every single year, people go to work and simply don't come home. Just last year, the Health and Safety Executive reported that 138 workers in Great Britain lost their lives in work-related accidents. That's 138 families changed forever, 138 communities mourning. And that figure doesn't even touch upon the hundreds of thousands who suffer injuries, some life-altering, all because something went terribly wrong on the job. It makes you stop and think, doesn't it? We spend so much of our lives at work, and the idea that it could be the place where everything ends is truly frightening. These aren't just numbers, they're real people with lives and loved ones. So, what's safety training all about then? Well, at its heart, it's about giving people the knowledge and the skills they need to stay safe while they're doing their jobs. It's about understanding the risks, knowing how to avoid them, and what to do if things do go pear-shaped. For employers, it's a legal duty, a moral obligation really, to make sure their teams are protected. But it's so much more than just ticking a box on a form, or at least it should be. It's about creating a culture where everyone looks out for each other, where safety is just part of how things are done, day in, day out. You see, good, effective safety training is absolutely vital. It's the first line of defense against accidents. When people are properly trained, they're more aware of hazards, they understand the procedures, and they're more likely to spot potential dangers before they escalate into something serious. Think about it, if you know how to use a piece of machinery correctly, or how to handle hazardous substances safely, or even just the right way to lift a heavy box, you're massively reducing the chances of an accident. It's about empowering people, giving them the confidence to work safely and to speak up if they see something that isn't right. And it's not just about preventing those big headline-grabbing incidents. It's also about stopping the smaller everyday injuries, the slips, trips and falls, the strains and sprains. These might seem minor, but they can still have a massive impact on someone's life, causing pain, time off, work, and financial stress. Good training helps to build a safer environment for everyone, from the apprentice just starting out to the seasoned veteran. It's an investment, really, in people's well-being and in the smooth running of any business. A safe workforce is a happier, more productive workforce, and that's a win for everyone involved, isn't it? One of the biggest problems, let's be honest, is that people just forget what they've learned. You sit them in a room for a day, bombard them with information, and then expect it all to stick? It's just not how our brains work, is it? Information overload is a real thing. People might nod along, even pass a little test at the end, but a week later ask them about specific procedures, and you'll often get a blank look. The training needs to be reinforced, revisited, and made relevant to their actual day-to-day tasks. Otherwise, it's just in one ear and out the other, which helps absolutely no one. Then there's the engagement factor, or often the lack of it. If training is delivered in a dull, uninspiring way, I think endless PowerPoint slides in a stuffy room, people will switch off. They'll be mentally checking their shopping lists or wondering what's for tea. It becomes a tick box exercise, something to endure rather than engage with. And if the trainers themselves aren't passionate or knowledgeable, or if they can't connect with the people they're teaching, then the message is lost. It has to feel important, urgent even, for people to truly take it on board and see its value in their working lives. Another common pitfall is when the training isn't tailored enough. A generic off-the-shelf package might cover the basics, but does it really address the specific risks that workers face in their particular roles, in their specific environment? Someone working in an office has very different safety concerns to someone on a construction site or in a chemical plant. If the scenarios and examples used aren't relatable, people won't see how it applies to them, and the learning just won't land. It needs to feel personal, practical, and directly linked to the challenges they encounter every single day. And sometimes, even the best training can be undermined if the overall company culture doesn't truly prioritize safety. If workers see managers cutting corners, or if there's pressure to get a job done quickly rather than safely, then all those training messages just fly out the window. Safety has to be led from the top. and it needs to be embedded in everything the company does. If there's a them and us attitude, or if raising a safety concern is seen as being difficult, then people won't feel empowered to act on their training, no matter how good it was. It's about walking the walk, not just talking the talk. So, what does good training look like? Well, hands-on practice is often king, especially for practical skills. You can talk about how to operate a forklift all day long, but until someone actually gets in the driver's seat, under supervision, and practices those maneuvers, it's just theory. The same goes for things like manual handling, using fire extinguishers, or administering first aid. Getting people to physically go through the motions helps to build muscle memory and confidence. It makes the learning active, not passive, and that's crucial for retention. It's about doing, not just listening. E-learning has become incredibly popular, and it definitely has its place. It can be really convenient, allowing people to learn at their own pace at a time that suits them. It's often more cost-effective too, especially for large organizations. Good e-learning modules can be interactive, with quizzes and videos, which helps, but, and it's a big but, it can also be quite isolating if it's the only method used. And it's not always the best for teaching complex practical skills or for fostering those important discussions about safety culture. It's a useful tool in the box for sure, but rarely the whole solution. Then you've got simulations, and this is where things can get really interesting and effective. Imagine firefighters training in a smoke-filled building that replicates a real fire, or pilots using flight simulators to practice emergency procedures. These controlled environments allow people to experience high-risk scenarios without any actual danger. This means they can make mistakes, learn from them, and build confidence in handling critical situations. For complex or hazardous jobs, simulations offer an incredibly powerful way to prepare people for the realities they might face, making the abstract feel very real indeed. We've seen some amazing results where companies blend these approaches. For instance, a company that handles hazardous chemicals might use e-learning for the theoretical knowledge about different substances and safety data sheets. Then, they could follow this up with practical, hands-on sessions on how to correctly use personal protective equipment and respond to a spill, perhaps even using a simulated spill scenario. This combination reinforces learning in different ways, catering to different learning styles, and ensuring that both the why and the how of safety are properly understood and remembered. It's about a tailored approach, not one size fits all. To really make safety training stick, it needs to be interactive. Forget those long one-way lectures. People learn best when they're involved, when they're asked questions, when they can discuss scenarios with their colleagues and share their own experiences. Workshops where teams problem-solve real-life safety challenges from their own workplace can be incredibly powerful. It makes the learning relevant and encourages a sense of ownership. When people contribute to finding solutions, they're much more invested in following through with them. It's about collaboration, not just instruction, isn't it? New technology is also opening up some amazing possibilities. Virtual reality and augmented reality are no longer just for gaming. They're becoming serious tools for safety training. Imagine being able to walk through a hazardous environment in VR, identify risks, and practice emergency responses, all without setting foot in actual danger. AR can overlay safety information onto real-world equipment through a tablet or smart glasses. These immersive experiences can dramatically improve engagement and retention, making complex information easier to grasp and remember. It's like bringing the training to life. Ultimately, the goal of all safety training is to create a lasting culture of safety, where thinking and acting safely becomes second nature to everyone. This isn't achieved through a one-off session, but through ongoing reinforcement, regular refreshers, and open communication. It's about making safety a continuous conversation, reminding people why it matters, for themselves, their colleagues, and their families is key. When training is engaging, relevant, and regularly reinforced, it moves beyond compliance and becomes a genuine tool for protecting lives and preventing harm in the workplace. So, let's remember those sobering statistics we started with. Effective safety training, using these smarter strategies, can make a real difference. We can stop accidents before they happen, protect people from harm, and ensure that everyone gets to go home safe at the end of their working day. It's an investment we simply can't afford not to make. What are your experiences with safety training? Have you seen examples of what works brilliantly, or perhaps what really doesn't? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's learn from each other. And do check out our other pieces on workplace well-being.